Hello everyone and welcome to this week's MB Rundown, where we give you the top headlines of the week to keep you fully informed. It is our first episode for the month of August and already a flurry of major developments have happened. Let's start off with the death of Osama City Mayor Reynaldo Parayong Sr. and his wife Susan, brother Octavio Jr. and 12 others in lightning raids conducted by the PNP's Criminal Investigation and Detection Group at 2:30 a.m. last Sunday. Armed with search warrants, the police raided homes known to be owned by the Parayongs, where they were able to seize high-powered firearms and illegal drugs. Parayong's daughter, Nova Princess Parayong Chavez, who is also Osama City's vice mayor, and her brother, Rolando Parayong Jr., were arrested in the raid. It's also worth noting that the crackdown on the Parayongs came less than a week after President Duterte vowed in his State of the Nation address last July 24 that he will further intensify his campaign against illegal drugs. Nova Princess and Rolando Jr. have since been brought to Manila for further investigation, and charges are expected to be filed against them by the CIDG. The Parayong incident has kicked up a storm of conflicting arguments, with the family of the slain mayor and supporters alleging that the raid really intended to liquidate Mayor Parayong and that it was overkill, while authorities have maintained that the operation was legitimate. The slain Osama City Mayor had been one of the politicians named by President Rodrigo Roa Duterte a year ago as among those involved in the illegal drug trade, and was the third mayor to have been killed in connection with the government's relentless drive against illegal drugs. Monday came and Filipinos woke up to a huge controversy at the Bureau of Customs, or the BOC, which was exposed in extensive hearings in the Senate and House of Representatives. The controversy started with the discovery of 600 kilos of shabu imported from China and pegged with a value of 6.4 billion pesos by customs officials in a warehouse in Valenzuela City after they received a tip from Chinese authorities last May. But there was apparently more to this mere illegal drugs raid. In the hearings held so far, allegations of incompetence of BOC officials were brought up. The Senate questioned why it allowed such a big shipment of illegal drugs to pass through customs examination and the inadequacy of the agency's system. Then there was a testimony given by alleged customs broker Mark Ruben Taguba II made in a closed-door session. Taguba named the customs officials involved in the anomalous release of the shipment. Taguba was later placed under the Senate's protective custody. But when the House of Representatives held its own probe that started last Tuesday, Customs Commissioner Nicanor Faeldon took the brunt of the congressman's ire on why such a large shipment could clip the agency's attention, and they promptly asked for his resignation. However, during a meeting with President Duterte, Faeldon was given the assurance that he continues to have the confidence of the chief executive. Senator Panfilo Lacson also unleashed a bombshell when he said that about 147 billion pesos in payola money has changed hands in the last 2 years at the Bureau of Customs. He was able to come to this total based on information he received that each container that leaves the agency required at least 27,000 pesos in bribe money. Considering that there are about 1,000 containers that leave the ports each day, that's 270 million pesos a day. The smoke hasn't cleared on the hearings about the smuggled shabu, and you can expect an update from MB Rundown next week. Moving on to foreign news, heightened tension continues to prevail in the Korean Peninsula after North Korea launched a second intercontinental ballistic missile, or ICBM, last Friday. And this time, experts expressed alarm that it now has the capability to launch a missile which could potentially reach parts of the United States. This sparked a sharp reaction from the Americans as 2 bombers were ordered to fly over the Korean Peninsula, even as the U.S. military announced a successful testing of Scud missile launchers. The U.S. Senate also approved of new sanctions against North Korea. The situation remains fragile in the Korean Peninsula as the U.S. military said it had detected unprecedented levels of submarine activity from North Korea, with evidence that it could also be embarking on a nuclear ejection test. And now for some sports action. The Rizal Memorial Complex located along Vito Cruz in Manila is no longer up for sale. In a report by MB sports writer Nick Gionco, the Philippine Sports Commission and the National Commission on the Culture and the Arts have decided instead to renovate the 83-year-old sports complex. PSC Chairman Butch Ramirez said that it will be preserved due to its rich history, passion, and spirit. A July 25 letter has already been forwarded to Manila Mayor Joseph Estrada informing him of the change of plans. And in other sports stories, Santa Elena downed the Army men 25-17, 25-22, 29-27 to clinch the remaining semifinal berth in the men's division of the Premier Volleyball League Open Conference at the arena in San Juan City. The Wrecking Balls turned to Berlin Paglinawan's consistent performance as the skipper finished with 20 points built on 18 kills and 2 aces. The win completed the semifinal cast and arranged Santa Elena the best of 3 series with top seed Signal starting on Saturday. The other semis pairing pit Mega Builders against Air Force. For our last sports bit this week, a whopping $1 million will be offered for the final edition of the Resorts World Manila Masters that will be held at the Manila Southwoods Golf and Country Club later this year. For its 5th and final leg, Resorts World Manila top honcho Stephen Riley hopes that this time a Filipino golfer gets to rule the $1 million event, which had foreign winners in its past 4 stagings. In the inaugural, China's Liang Wenchong captured the title back in 2013. And this year's Resorts World Manila Masters runs from November 9 to 12. We end this week's edition of MB Rundown with the latest from MB's entertainment section. Entertainment columnist and veteran artist manager Alvey Lorenzo passed away last Tuesday morning, July 31, in San Juan de Dios Hospital in Manila. He was 78. According to Lorenzo's friend and colleague Lolit Solis, he suffered a heart attack Monday night while at a hotel in Pasay City and was rushed to the said hospital. The veteran columnist's nephew, Ramon Lorenzo, announced that the wake will be held at Arlington Memorial Chapels in Quezon City. Afterwards, Lorenzo's remains will be brought to his hometown in Porac, Pampanga. Dramatic actress Judy Ann Santos, who used to be managed by Lorenzo, said that she will take care of the funeral arrangements as she wants to fulfill all her former manager's final requests. In 2010, Lorenzo had also suffered a heart attack and had undergone emergency angioplasty. Alvey Lorenzo, or Tito Alfie, was best known for managing talents like Judy Ann Santos, Carla Estrada, Jackie Forster, Gretchen Barreto, and Sunshine Cruz, among others. In another piece of entertainment news, the Cultural Center of the Philippines Vice President Chris Millado reiterated that actress Nora Aunor is still considered as a contender to receive a National Artist Award. Millado explained that Nora Aunor is automatically part of the list of artists for deliberation since former President Benigno Noynoy Aquino excluded her from the list of the 2014 batch of national artists. He also said that Aunor need not be nominated and that they should just have to remind the panel that she is still part of the list. Millado pointed out as well that Aunor was able to accomplish so much since 2014, and those will also be taken into consideration. Among those who received the honor in the field of cinema are Fernando Poe Jr., Lino Broca, Ishmael Bernal, Gerardo De Leon, and Eddie S. Romero. And finally, for our last bit of entertainment news, K-pop sensation Jay Park joins the judging panel of the new season of Asia's Got Talent. He will join returning judges David Foster and Anggun. Park takes over the reins from Melanie C. and Vanessa Wu, who personally saw the rise of Filipino shadow playgroup El Gama Penumbra as the franchise's first ever grand champion back in 2015. The announcement of the judges were made by this season's hosts, MTV Asia VJ Alan Wong, and actor-filmmaker Justin Bratton at the Art Science Museum in Singapore. Other Filipino contestants that made it to the top 9 on Asia's Got Talent's previous season were Jerfil Flores, Gwyneth Dorado, and Junior New System. Asia's Got Talent 2017 will air on AXN, and the finals will be held at the Marina Bay Sands. So those were the top news headlines for this week, but we would like to hear what you have to say, so make sure you use the hashtag MBRundown in all your comments, status, and tweets. This has been Nicole Cordoves, and I'll see you again next week.